The raisin exercise. For this practice, you can use a raisin or any type of dried fruit, or if you don't have dried fruit, something small like a nut, perhaps. Whenever you're ready, find yourself in a comfortable position. You might be sitting on the floor or in a chair, or you may even wish to lie down. When you're ready, take your raisin and just put it in the palm of your hand. We'll start with bringing your attention to the raisin in your hand and exploring it with your eyes. Imagine that you've never seen a raisin before. Bringing all of your attention to the raisin as you look at it closely, curiously. You might notice things like how the light hits the raisin. Are there any different colors? Is it shiny? Is it dull? Are there ridges? Or is it smooth? Maybe both. Really allow yourself to just explore with your sense of sight the raisin. You might decide to pick up the raisin with your thumb and forefinger and maybe roll it around, see what it looks like on all the different sides. What do you notice? If you notice while you're doing this, maybe some thoughts that come to your mind like, why am I doing this? Or what's the point of this? Then you're just going to notice these thoughts as thoughts that you're having, and then bring your attention back to the experience of looking at the raisin. So now we're going to move our attention to the experience of touch and feel. So, what do you notice when you touch and feel the raisin? Is it sticky? Maybe it's smooth. Maybe it's rough. Maybe it's dry. Like before, you might wish to roll it around between your fingers or in your hands and see what it feels like when you move it in your hands. Is it round, oval? Does it roll smoothly? Does it roll differently depending on the way it's laying in your hand? Really just spending some time becoming curious about the feel of the raisin in your hands. Now we're going to move our attention away from touch to smell. So bring the raisin to your nose. See if there's any scents or aromas that you notice. Maybe you smell sweetness, or maybe it has no scent at all. Sometimes noticing that there's nothing there is also noticing. So just take some time to explore and be curious about the smell of the raisin. So now we're going to take the raisin and prepare to place the raisin in our mouth. You might even notice the change in transition. You had it in your hand, and now you're moving your hand and your arm towards your mouth in a particular way, in this automatic way that your body just knows how to do. So you can go ahead whenever you're ready and place the raisin in your mouth. Maybe notice if your tongue comes out to meet the raisin. Do you automatically put the raisin right on your tongue or somewhere else? So allow the raisin to be in your mouth without chewing it. You might notice if there are changes inside your mouth. Maybe your mouth is watering a little bit. You might have the desire to chew the raisin. So just noticing what comes up with the raisin in your mouth. What are the sensations of the raisin on your tongue and in your mouth? Does it have a different feel in your mouth than when it was in your hand? Can you feel the ridges? Any smoothness? What's the shape like when it's in your mouth? And maybe you want to move the raisin around in your mouth from side to side. Maybe it's up on against the roof of your mouth. Maybe it's at the front and you move it to the back. So now, whenever you're ready, you can move the raisin between your teeth and bite down on it. And very slowly start to chew. So now what's happening in the mouth? Noticing, are there any different sensations when you're chewing? What does it feel like when you're biting down on the raisin? Take your time with this. You might notice any changes in your mouth from when you first put it in your mouth. You might notice changes in the raisin. Is it softer now? Maybe it's moist. Any changes to the flesh of the raisin? And what about taste? You might notice sweetness, or maybe it's tart. And so now we're going to get ready to swallow the raisin. Can you notice any changes in your mouth, in your tongue, with the raisin as you prepare to swallow the raisin? And finally, when you're ready, swallow the raisin. And even as you swallow, you can notice the raisin as it travels down the back of your mouth and throat as it disappears into your stomach. Even that has some sensations. So maybe you notice something with that. And whenever you're done, You can slowly start to bring your attention back into the room. That was the Raisin exercise, developed for mindfulness based stress reduction, led by Jillian Reed.